Chapter 12. A volcano erupts. We continued to rise at an alarming rate of speed. I was frightened of what was to come. My uncle must have seen the look of fear upon my face. "While there is life, there is hope," he said. "Let us eat something to keep up our strength." Hans shook his head sadly. "What?" yelled my uncle. "Do you mean to say that all of our provisions are lost?" "Yes," I answered. Then I dropped into a kind of trance, dreaming about my youth, and my home, and Gretchen, and the food we had left behind. When I awoke from my trance, I could feel a new sensation. The temperature was rising rapidly as our raft. I could not tell what the temperature was exactly, but I would guess that it reached at least 120 degrees. Why the change in temperature? I wondered. "If we are not drowned or smashed flat like pancakes, we shall be burned alive," I said aloud. My uncle just shrugged his shoulders and looked upward. "I still have hope," he said coolly. Hours passed in this manner, and as we progressed upward, the temperature rose with us. I began to feel as if we were bathed in hot and burning air. Never before had I felt anything like it, because he's not from Phoenix. We began to take off our clothing, the slightest shirt or undershirt becoming extremely uncomfortable. "Are we ascending into a living fire?" I cried, when the heat became greater. No, it is impossible," he said, knowing, however, that nothing on this journey was an impossibility. "And yet," I answered, "the walls of the tunnel are red hot. And listen, do you hear the thunderous explosions?" An idea seemed to strike my uncle, and I could see his mind wrestling with it. "Uncle," I cried, "we are lost. We must be caught in an earthquake. The walls around us are cracking. The water beneath us is boiling." "You are wrong," he answered, "very wrong." "What do you mean?" I cried. "This is more than an earthquake, Harry. Something more important by far. It is an eruption." "An eruption?" I gasped. "That we are in a volcanic shaft of a crater that's getting ready to erupt?" "Yes," he answered with a smile on his face, "and this is one of the best things that could have ever happened to us." "What?" I screamed. "Have you gone mad? We are in a well of burning and boiling lava. We're about to be spit out of the earth, along with whirlwinds of flame and huge rocks, and you say this is the best—" "Don't you see, Harry?" he said calmly. "This is our only chance of escaping from the interior of the earth and seeing the light of day." I suddenly realized that my uncle was right. We passed the whole night rapidly going up through the burning tunnel. Under the raft was a mass of boiling water, and under that, a heaving mass of lava and rocks. I found myself wondering what mountain we were climbing at such speed, and on what part of the world we would be shot out. As if it really mattered, for there was no escape. Soon, a dim light reached us from above. To the right and left, I could make out long, dark hallways of rock from which awful smoke and horrible sulfur gases poured out. Tongues of fire, sparkling and crackling, appeared out about to lick us up. The hour had come. "Look, Uncle, look!" I cried. "Don't worry," he said. "The tunnel is widening. It should soon be over." The temperature had reached 200 degrees, and sweat rushed out of every pore in our bodies. Only the speed of our travel kept us from stifling to death. About 8 o'clock in the morning, the ascent of the raft stopped completely. We moved neither upward nor fell back into the earth. "The eruption has failed!" I cried. "We shall never reach the surface." "Do not worry," my uncle said. "The nature of eruptions is such that they move in stages. We will begin our ascent again in 10 minutes. And he was correct, to the minute. Soon the raft began to move up again. The heat was now unbearable. I looked forward to being thrown from the crater onto the snowy slopes of some volcano in the north country. The snow Ice and cold would be a welcome relief from the heat of the shaft in which we now traveled. This stopping and starting occurred many times during those hours. I don't remember much of what came next. What I do remember is a mass of rocks moving upwards, numerous explosions, and the raft going around and around like a spinning top as it floated on a stream of hot lava amidst a falling cloud of ashes. The last thing I saw was the figure of Hans appearing to be surrounded by the halo of a burning blaze, and then I felt a sensation like a man being shot from the mouth of a cannon, with his body flying into empty space.